Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to maybe another recording session, maybe just a recording. I'm not feeling 100% up to the weather. Let's transform this 40 into something else. Or it might be more appropriate to say that the weather very possibly here is messing with me. So we've got 60, 60, 60 here, and like just play the class cards is all I need to do. So this custom druid first things first. Mage druid, yeah, we'll play the custom druid first and get that quest done, and then we'll
that deck is only for wild games.
Switch to wild, custom druid. I'm on 18 right now, so I'm not gonna play ranked with a deck that's simply designed to play as many druid cards as possible. I barely have anything to talk about on top of not feeling up to the weather. And hopefully this is just a 24-hour
shall
thing.
Bring victory.
I must protect the wild.
Hopefully. Oh, this deck is not the right deck. This is a taunt deck. Oh, well, we'll try to lose quickly here. In fact, just to save time, since we're only doing this, let's just
Is someone injured?
concede right now.
I concede.
Let's just save ourselves that time. And then we'll come back here, and we need to make a new deck. So, custom druid goes bye-bye. Delete. New. We were doing druid here. And what if I did classic druid stuff? How much of this would be druid things? Nah. Yeah. It's easier just to do this. That, then that, then that, then that, then that. This. I kind of just want all the cards that are 1 mana. Because see, I'm noticing that there's some cards here I don't even have 2 of. There we go. So this is a super cheap deck to play. Playing 50 druid things means playing an entire game as fast as possible until I run out of cards, and then playing a second game. So can I get this done in 2 games? That's probably a tall order, but not terrible. So after last recording session, it'd been almost like a loose 5 days since I'd last played Skyrim. I think I had played Day of the Tentacle in between there, so it wasn't 5 days of not recording at all.
I must protect the wild.
Believe, but there was certainly a level there, a level of a lack of progress on Skyrim. So I've played at least 1 day of Skyrim, getting 6 or 7 hours of footage there. Running around doing some of these side quest things, just doing things I know about, I suppose. Although on one of them I think I may very well have messed up with the Dibella quest line and ended up just killing everybody in the Dibella area, which is gods in Skyrim, goddess of love, I think. I just snuck in there and ended up stealing everything and said, well, I guess that's the best I can do. But yeah, I'm mostly running around and I'm toying with playing the main storyline versus going and playing the Assassin's Guild storyline. Let's do this.
Job's done.
And return. After I do the Assassin's storyline, there is the Investigate the Bard College quest line, but that's not really a major companion quest line. We did this prison escape storyline that should have, almost certainly should have been part of the main beginning of the game. If you had started in jail and played through that a little bit more, it would have worked better. Alright, who do I want next turn? I'll take that. Up. Still a lot of organizing going on and some weirdness with the money situation going on too. Enchanting is almost up to 100% on Skyrim, so I'm almost... No, actually enchanting is at 100% now, so there's no higher level with enchanting, so I don't have to worry about enchanting things anymore. I simply need to disenchant items and work now on alchemy and smithing, is, I suppose, one of the things I'd like to improve upon to get to the point where I can make heavy armor. The game seriously pushes you into playing with light armor archery, but maybe now that I'm almost to level 100 with archery, I'm thinking maybe change things up, get some heavy armor, get a one-handed weapon. I do have a Daedric one-handed weapon that I was planning on using, but it doesn't seem like it does enough damage. It's kind of ridiculous. The far left area of the map in Skyrim should be where you start the game. It really should, instead of the lower center. There's a big mistake happening in that. Let's see, deal 1 damage to draw a card, or deal 3 damage. Let's do this. Done. So, yeah, I still haven't really done much in the top left. It feels like there's some stuff in the top right that I've missed out on too. The lower right's not completely full. The lower left is not completely full. Are either one of these beasts? Nope. That's an interesting combination of cards there. How many do I have left? 17? Yeah, Skyrim desperately needs editing. There's entire storylines that could have been left on for the next game. If Bethesda was going to make more of a annualized thing, which I think is where they are going on this route, I think it would work a lot better, because in reality all you have are several games just put in the same landmass with Skyrim. There's a game where you are the leader of the, you become the leader of the companions. There's a game where you're Dragonborn. There's a game where you're a leader of the Mage Guild, leader of the Assassin's Guild. There are games where you just play a relatively long quest line. And that's not even one of the guild quest lines. And all of those are just so completely separate from each other that they might just be analyzed. I mean, I hate to talk DLC and say good things about DLC because I don't agree with it, but in a lot of ways, that's exactly what this game kind of needs to be. If, like, I love that the Skyrim is $200. It's just the reason it's $200 is because you're having to deal with scaling that constantly goes up, levels that constantly go up for no reason, a weight mechanic that's ridiculous, where I'm constantly having to go find places that have enough money that I can sell all the armor I'm picking up. It just doesn't make sense. If they just had something like Torchlight, where you could send your companion back to sell items, or if in the next game you just have some magic where you can dismantle things into base components of gold, that would be cool. There isn't really even a crafting system in the game that's what I would call an actual crafting system. It's a forging, smithing system where you have leather and ingots and you combine them together and magically make weapons. But why can't I dismantle, say, a weapon I already have and
guide my lands.
Use that to get some of the crafting ingredients back? And those crafting ingredients should be really, really light.
Bathe in flames.
All they would have to do is say, like, this iron sword or iron dagger, which takes two iron ingots to make and one leather, gets you back the about half of what it takes to craft. That would work perfectly. And particularly if iron ingots and leather were just like 1/10 of a pound. Let's see. I want this one just because it's a druid card. Yeah, if at any point I could break down elements or do something with them other than just drop them on the ground. Get rid of the food system completely because that's silly and it doesn't add anything. This. Deal 1 damage to him? Can't.
That's not a valid target.
Alright, how about we do this then?
For a loon.
For the wild.
Play this. See, I'm being really slow here too. It's been 14 minutes and I'm not talking about it. I'm totally not on the ball. Let's like, I don't know if I have too much more I could even say about Skyrim.
Serves me.
I'm still playing it. I'm still very much acting kind of strange in it because I'm spending hours sometimes entire recording just running around smithing things and trying to organize and trying to get alchemy to work, which I learned a new system on alchemy, running through quest lines that I think at the very beginning of the game I said I wasn't going to do, but I've now kind of fallen into doing anyways. Kind of in some small way I might be stalling and not playing.
Feel my wrath for the wild.
There. So moving forward, we got a couple things about Dishonored 2. So Dishonored 2 has gotten a lot of news press, and I think this might have been one of those things where they paid for a week's worth of coverage to some article things, because this does happen. Like, it's totally a package deal they offer that say, we will talk about your game every couple of days or every day for a week straight. I mean, when you start seeing for less reasons than there should be, a news channel site is just talking about something over and over again, there's almost
for the wilds.
A reason for it more than you would think.
For the wilds.
That's silly, but whatever. But for Dishonored 2, I think it's kind of backfired because Dishonored 2 is not doing well at all. Its launch sales are 38% down from the launch sales of Dishonored 1, which should not happen because Dishonored 1 is first of all the original, so if any one of them was going to have low sales, it should have been Dishonored 1, and Dishonored 1 was good, so there should be no reason for it. Now, generally, I think I would speculate the reason why it's 38% down is because we just came out from, like, Modern Warfare, Titanfall 2, Infinite Warfare, and then Dishonored. So I think, yeah, while I may not be exactly right, I think that this is this has been 4 weeks in a row of AAA title games coming out. So not a huge surprise that sales would be done. Speaking of sales, I'm trying to figure out how to run a budget. I literally don't know how to run a budget. No, I want to talk about this, but I will also mention there's another reason that might explain why Dishonored 2 has low sales, and that is its live action TV commercial does not mention that it's a video game at all. It just doesn't. You see this nice looking, kind of weird fantasy animation of live action actors and people walking around, and it doesn't look like it's a video game, nor does it say for Xbox One, PlayStation, or PC at the end, so you don't even know it's a video game at the end of the commercial. And I've seen it on TV, so I know it's not just that I'm seeing a commercial on YouTube and that they're assuming I already know that. This has been general public people would see that commercial and go, what's Dishonored 2? I would heavily suspect, if I just saw it, that it was a new book, because I have seen some Stephen King and other authors have started on rare occasions to have commercials like that But even then, they usually say it's a book by somebody at the end. So I would think it's either a new book or a new TV series that they're promoting or something like that. At no second would I think, oh, this is a video game. It doesn't look video game at all. But I wanted to talk about budgeting because we're approaching the we're approaching the level of
Job's done.
like, well, we're approaching Black Friday is what we're approaching as far as the November sale on Steam.
Are you my master?
And I literally, as a trying to talk here and having trouble focusing again, this is certainly, I would take the day off if I could. This is part of the problem with Hearthstone. It just never ends. Do I want to play or do I want to save till next turn? I'll save till next turn. It'd be nice to win every once in a while. How do you calculate a budget when you're starting a new business? Because, I mean, first of all, there's an ignorant way to look at it, certainly. You can, and it's somewhat valid, but it's also totally ignorant to say, well, YouTube for this 2 years has only paid out exactly $100. And now I'm getting roughly 60-70 cents a week every rolling 7 days to that is building up to the second $100 payment.
Apple on your head.
And as the channel grows, then ideally you'd be getting at least $100 every week, if not more. But we're not to that point. But if you just say, well, you've only made $100, so you shouldn't invest on it. Certainly. Or if you even go even further with it and say, well, you only made $1 this month, so for next month's budget or for the sale, which is supposed to cover more than 1 month's budget, you should only spend $1. Well, if I go and buy $1.99 game, almost certainly that game is going to be finished in an hour at most, so I could get 1, maybe 2 recordings off of it, and then I'd only have 1 and 2 recordings for the next month. Thus, nobody would have any videos they could even watch to make any money. Thus, I've just put myself out of business because my budgeting said, well, because I only earned $1, I bought $1 game. Because I only had $1 game, I made 1 episode. Because I made 1 episode, I only get maybe a penny's worth of views on that 1 episode. Therefore, next month I can't even afford a game. Therefore, I have nothing to do with it. Now, it is also worth realizing in my situation, it's not that dire. This would be more of a scenario if I had no games. Truth is, I have 400 plus games, maybe even close to 500 games that I still haven't played. A lot of them are dollar games though. A lot of them are games I've gotten free. A lot of them are games I'm not super interested in playing. Some of them are super long, like Skyrim, which puts my channel in a weird position because at the end of the day, Skyrim is getting views. Slightly more views than everything else, I think. It seems like in general I'm growing in views for all my channel. So from that perspective though, that's not how you make a budget. That doesn't make sense. You're trying to grow a business. All businesses lose money at the beginning. You don't go spend $1 to open a McDonald's, train all the employees, buy all the meat, fries, and equipment to cook all that food, and refrigerators to refrigerate all that food. You don't spend $1 to do all of that, and then you go sell your first burger for $1.50 and make 50 cents profits on your first sale. No, you don't. What you do is you spend probably close to $1 million to open a single franchise of McDonald's.
Where shall I
And
strike?
then for the first 2 to 5
Are
years,
you my
you
master?
run in the red, but solidly establishing a consistent flow of income each month. So you're bringing in money and you've established this base. You've got this franchise now, and people know that's where they go to get their McDonald's, and people want to get their McDonald's, so they keep coming back. That's
For the
the
wild.
real way businesses work. If it were only as easy as going to spend $1 and then a month later getting $2. The only place you could even get close to that is if you just went and gambled, and then you have the incredible risk of gambling, which is more risky than the risk of running a business.
Cthulhu is my
But I don't know what to do. So I printed out my wish list, which is huge. It was like 16 pages when I made it 9 pages per piece of paper. So I scaled down 1 letter sheet of paper to be a 9-to-1 ratio. That means you're talking somewhere around 135 pages of wish list things, and what's on my wish list isn't particularly everything I'd ever buy. It's just things I've considered buying and would consider buying, games to keep an eye on. It gives me this flexible list to say these are things to consider versus just going to the entire list of Steam, which I don't know exactly how you would do that, and just looking at every single game ever. It also allows me to pull off things like not getting early access games, not getting bad games too, or things that I've specifically don't want. Of course, you still have the not interested element that I don't use that much. I need that. Also, using that 1 damage to hit the face is probably the worst way to use that card, if I was to guess. So, I printed off all of that, and I have 5 different colored highlighters. And so, with the limitation of the variety of colors and highlighters, I'm thinking to myself, I could go in there and write 60 plus, and then divide 60 by 5, so that would be 12. So anything that's 48 plus, and then another 12
Illume guide my lands.
would be 36 plus, and then another 12 would be 24 plus, and then another 12 would be 12 plus, and then the final one would be 0 plus. So there I have 5 categories of the base price of the games, not what they'll be on sale, because I have been looking more on the discounts often. Then I would have 5 things in which I could highlight the game, and then I could make specific notes to places where for games that I was really considering or really wanted to get.
For the wild.
That could be something else I could mark, and I could either make a graph or something else. Maybe I should just get 1/5 of every category. 1/5 of the budget goes to every category. So last time I was able to graciously be donated $300 for the last sale. So 1/5 of $300 would be, let's see, 5, let's see, 6, 60, yeah, $60. So that for a $300 budget for something that is supposed to be, there's 3 sales each month that are of important. So that means each month will be a 4-month supply.
For the wild.
So $60 for a $60 plus game. That means buy 1 AAA title. Then $60 for a $48 plus game. That means buy 1 of them and then have a little extra. And then $60 for a 36 games. That means probably buy 2 of those. And let's see, $60 for a 24 game. That means probably buy 3 of those. And then $60 for a $14 game. That means buy 5 of those. And then $60 for 0 to 12. And that would put you at anywhere around 60 of those. And I think
The light protects me.
that kind of works. Like, as much as 60 of the dollar ones, but probably closer to 30 because there aren't that many dollar ones. And I think that probably breaks it well. Now, the problem with this calculation here is the $200, because this is just a amount that's been picked up from my lab. Ideally, for 4 months, I would have, let's see, $60 for each month would be $240, so $300 is
For the wild.
actually 1 extra month on top of that. So I think $300 is probably a good thing to work there. Of course, now when I'm trying to move my channel towards playing new games as they come out, it might be very much better to simply have $60 to pre-order the season pass and everything, or 60 or more to pre-order and do the season pass for all of those things. To buy brand new games and try and play them, which I think we might in mid-2017 really reach that, particularly if I'm just doing Skyrim and Skyrim takes up a 6-month period of gameplay. I don't know, or if it just goes on forever. Just, they should have.
I thank you.
Doesn't work either way. So I don't know what other factors though to calculate for a budget. And
We must
at the end of the day, this has helped me. My thought process here has helped me decide what categories of games I probably should be in. But it doesn't get down to the core of what the budget is. There's like no expected earnings is the thing. Like, I would like it and hope to get some earnings back, but if I try to set a budget anywhere close to the expected earnings, I won't have enough games to make footage at all, let alone profit. I could certainly see if I was making $1,000 a month, how I could make a budget then and say, well, I'm making $1,000 a budget, let's just pick 1/3 of that and take $333 and make that our budget for new games. And that would be a sizable chunk of new games, and almost certainly some of that would also be put into savings for more equipment, which is also a big issue. More equipment and whatever else might be expenses there. But as you're starting out, you kind of don't need anything, can't do anything like that. It's like trying to make a bank loan. When people file bank loans to start their business, they try to make these arguments. They go, well, this 3-star Michelin restaurant here makes $1 million a year, so I'm expecting my McDonald's to make $1 million a year. And they're like, no, you can't just say that, or you can't just make up numbers. Sadly, the banks will believe you a lot of times on business plans like that. They will say, oh, you think you're going to make $1 million a year? Sure, we'll give you $100,000. Person disappears. Restaurant never happens. Or more likely the restaurant does happen, but they don't know how to run it, so it doesn't make any money. And then we have kitchen nightmares and all that. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if you have any idea. It will certainly be too late for this year, maybe not too late for, well, yeah, it'll probably be too late for the winter thing, but definitely not too late for the summer sale, which still this will be an issue. I may very easily find myself going through all of my wish list after a few more, maybe a year or more of sales, and I may just have everything I care to play, and then that solves the problem too. Anywho, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. I hope that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can go to my main YouTube channel. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.